Alright YouTube, what is going on? It is ConflctNerd Callum here today, bringing you another episode of my Project Highrise series. Now first of all, again I do apologise, my throat is still a bit rough, but I do feel I'm up to commentating today. It's been quite a while since I recorded the last episode. I've just been trying to reset my throat in a sense, and it is much better than it was, but it's still not great if you know what I'm saying. Right, so in today's episodes, we're going to go ahead and do quite a little bit of building. I want to go ahead and move into the residential area at this side of the building. So there's two things I also want to achieve before that, and one or two things I just want to really let you know what I'm planning for the future here. So if we jump in here to our floor viewing, you can see that we have the ground floor, floor 0, and then we have floor 1. And these two floors I want to go ahead and empty out of any offices. What I want to do is on the ground floor I want to have lobbies and food items such as cafes and restaurants. Then I want to go ahead and all these services like the courier and the copying and printing centres, I want to go ahead and put these on the first floor. Then from there I want to go ahead and have offices going up from there. Now the reason is because I want to go ahead and centralise as much as I can. I think it would just be good to go ahead and group everything together, and I think going forward that would make sense to have it on the first floor, just so it's close to the offices as well. Then on top of that I want to go ahead and we're going to remove these offices here, and the reason is because we're going to move the elevator over, because I've actually tried to record this episode before, but just because of me being ill I decided to scrap it. However, I know what measurements we need, and we need to cut back one office to go ahead and fit in some studios and apartments. So right now we're at $650 per day, which is not a lot to be fair. What we're going to do is we're going to speed things up very quickly and see if that continues on into the next day. So it actually goes up, which is quite nice. So we'll go ahead and we'll keep the game on ×3 speed. Now right now we have $4,000. I can see in some offices though there's a bit of grime, so we need to go ahead and get rid of that. So we jump down here to the maintenance centre and we go ahead and renovate one office, and that'll go ahead and deal with that issue there. So the next thing I want to do is, we are essentially just wasting money having people not in any of these offices, so that's what we're going to go ahead and do. So let's go ahead and grab some legal offices. What I'm going to do really going forward is I'm going to basically put everything which requires a phone near this phone column, the electricity wire closet here, and then everything that doesn't require a phone is going to be over on this left hand side here. Just try to think where my lefts and my rights were there, but I managed to get them eventually. So I think that's a better system going forward. So we'll go ahead and put you in, and then put you in. So I've gone ahead and did quite a bit of building there. I can't take you yet until we get better eating facilities, which is totally understandable. Now let me go ahead and pause before you guys move out. The problem is people can move in one day and then move out on the same day if you don't go ahead and deal with their needs. So it's something which is a little bit silly, to be honest. I feel it's a little bit too sharp. We need to go ahead and add in phone, and we also need to go ahead and add in electricity along this floor as well, which is easy enough to do. So with that should hopefully go ahead and deal with the satisfaction. The wires are coming, but it looks like as well we are going to have to pause again because we're over on our electricity, which is not too good. So as we can see here, utilization is 106%, which means we've got 3 extra offices which require power. So what I'm going to do is I'm going to jump in and we're going to grab another 50 I think, and we're going to stick you in there. So that's going to cost me quite a lot per day. You guys cost 750 per day, so that's going to eat up a lot of our profit margins, but at the same time we're going to save a shit ton more money on, or we've got the capacity now to go ahead and do a lot more building. That's really the bottom line, which I'm looking forward to. We're also going to go ahead and move quite a few things around later on in this episode as well. So let's go ahead and get this game back to ×3 speed. Now you should be accommodated with electricity now, because there is electricity, so you've not changed to happy, but you're at least a mediocre tone. So it's going to be until midnight until we can attract new offices in, which is fair enough by me. I could go ahead and do some more advertising, but as I said, money's quite tight right now, plus we still have a loan which we've got a lot to pay back, so we need to go ahead and, I guess, just be very concise about our spending and not go ahead and unjustifiably spend, really. That's the bottom line. Interesting thing to note, we've also had an office move out here, which I'm not really at all sure why that is. Maybe because it's too busy, and that is something which again, it comes down to being on like I mean that's the first floor, so I'm not going to go ahead and refill that in because I want to go ahead and remove that whole row anyway, eventually, but that costs money. And again, as I said, money is something we do not have. But I do want to go ahead and gain money, so let's go ahead and actually break down city contracts here. So right now we've got this one here and we're nowhere near it. And we're not going to be anywhere near it for a while, so it's all about medium offices if you've seen the last episode. And basically medium offices, funnily enough, they're double the size of small offices, but they require a lot more different services. I'm not at all sure which ones we don't have, if I'm totally honest. We are missing a few, which we need to go ahead and implement, but I don't want to go ahead and implement that until we go ahead and really start to get this building looking in a little bit better shape and the layout that I want it to be. So as you can see, we've actually ticked over into the next day and we're up to $945, which is a little bit better. So we're going to go ahead and see, there's no new offices. That's a real shame actually. What I think I will do is I'll go ahead and ask for some more legal offices and see if we can get some new guys into the building. Now while we wait on that, I want to go ahead and start to build some apartments. So if we jump into here, or it's going to be studios actually, so what I need to start deleting some offices actually. So this is going to be, you know what, we're not going to be able to do that till tomorrow, so we're going to go ahead and delete these offices here, which has cost me quite a bit of money. That's cost me like $1,000 all in all, so we've gone ahead and deleted that. Then when we get more money tomorrow, what I'm going to have to do is I'm going to have to move these elevators along basically the... How wide are elevators? 1, 2, 3 panels it looks like. I'm going to have to move them along so they just border these offices here. So that means I have much more room at this right hand side. Now the real problem is we are wasting a lot of money because there's a lot of this building which exists, but it's not really getting too much use. And that is something which I need to go ahead and change pronto because every empty space essentially is just, it's a waste of money, and that's something which I'm not a big fan of at all. Anyway, back into city contracts we go. So what I'm thinking about doing right now is going for residential. So we're going to go ahead and look at some of the residential contracts. So there's a few office ones, a commuter one here. Then we've also got residential potential and then also studio apartments. So these are two which I want to probably go ahead and look at. So we'll start off here with residential potential. So apartment dwellers are crucial to the city's plans for this neighbourhood. The city's Department of Housing would like you to help by attracting 50 new residents. Now that's a lot, considering our population right now is only at 70, so I would have to go ahead and just over double it, which is, or not double it, whoa, take that back. I need to go ahead and like add in, bottom line is I need to, that's awful maths, awful maths. Doubling that, yes I know, would be 140, so I mean, I guess it is kind of close to doubling actually, if you get what I mean, but anyway, aside from that, we need to go ahead and increase the population, and that's quite a lot at this early stage, so I'm going to go ahead and leave that for the time being. I also see 2 offices with grime in it, so I'm going to go ahead and deal with that very quickly, and again, that takes up more of today's budget. So going back into here, I just don't think that's the one for us, to be honest. I think it's a good one to aim for, long term, but right now, I just don't see it. What I'm thinking about here is studio apartments. So this one seems a little bit more upper street, and we're going to be building studio apartments. We're not going to be building penthouses or flats yet. So the Department of Housing would like to increase the stock of housing availability in the city for newcomers to town. They think studio apartments are the best. Construct 10 of them and they will be grateful. So that one is a much more obvious and appealing one to me, so I'll go ahead and grab that. So that should be relatively easy. But what comes with that requires quite a few different things. We need to go ahead and add in garbage facilities for the first ever time. That is going to be something which is going to be quite a large deal. So with that though, we did get $500, which is good, and we should now have some more offices. We only have 2 unfortunately, but we can go ahead and fit you guys in relatively easily. So we'll go ahead and put you in there, and then we'll go ahead and, are you a phone one? You're not a phone one, so that's quite good actually. That works out in my favour. You guys are all connected up to electricity and you're connected up to the phone, so we're all good on that front there. I'm just a little bit worried actually. Phone usage is at 75%, so we're not too bad there at all. So while I once again wait on more money coming in, we're going to go ahead and start to look at buzz. So this is something which we've not really done too much of, but we have a lot of it. So media buzz here. So we currently have 404 media buzz. Spend buzz on media campaigns to give your building an additional boost. The effect of a media campaign lasts only 24 hours though, so that's a little bit unfortunate. I would like it to see a little bit longer, but there is a lot of good traits which you can really get from this. So for example here, increase satisfaction for all office workers, and this can help go ahead and boost our prestige. So launch your media campaign hyping your building as a premier office spot in the city. Your office workers feel even better walking through the doors every morning. So that is a little bit... Nah, I'm not gonna lie, that doesn't really bother me too much. The phoning in one though, that interests me, so that means we're gonna save money. So phoning it in, phone construction and daily costs cost 50% less per day. So we're gonna go ahead and apply that for today. So that means that right now I think how much? You're $175 per day and so are you. So if it's 50% then we save $175 a day. That's the bottom line there. So it is, I mean it's not the largest saving, but every little helps at this stage, honestly. Every little helps because I'm scrapping right now. The major problem is because if we jump back into here, we're paying off, what, $300 a day? And $300 per day is quite a lot. If we weren't losing that, then we would right now be bringing in $775 per day, which is a lot more. It's near enough, what, an extra third of what we've currently got. So it would make a big difference, that's for sure. In the future as well, I'm sure we'll go ahead and do some other campaigns too. The next thing again is talking about that prestige thing. So right now we're at 3 stars prestige, which is quite nice, and I want to go ahead and try and increase that shortly if we can as well. Now right now the 3 stars is all in population, which is not the best thing, and I want to go ahead and be a little bit more diverse, and that's really what a lot of these contracts in the city are aiming to basically get us to that stage. And we are, I mean we've got a variety of different offices, I would say. We've got some legal, we've got some accounting, we've got some creative, and we've got some insurance. We have a jolly good old mixture, but the real problem is that that's all offices. Now we have started to dip our toes into the retail, which as we can see, I want to jump into satisfaction here. So it's a little bit, not gonna lie. So I think obviously retail, they require a lot of traffic. That is something which, if we go ahead and turn on our traffic map here, you can see that it's all around the elevators, and basically this main lobby here, people don't really seem to, or there's no entrance at this other side yet, which I don't know if I want one or not, to be honest. We'll go ahead and work that one out later on. But the real thing is that retail requires traffic. That's why I put all these retail shops beside the elevator, but realistically I want to go ahead and put more of these on the 1st and 2nd floor. That's really what I'm wanting going forward. And that is something which I hope to achieve later along the line when we go ahead and move all these office supplies, couriers, printing all up onto the 1st floor and not the ground floor. Then we can go ahead and add in lobbies, which could allow for artwork, and that is again going to boost prestige, but not just in the population front, on a different front as well, which should be quite good. Now, going ahead and, I mean, it's really easy to get prestige through population. I believe it's every 20 people we go ahead and get it, so there's really not much need at all. But, Jesus, $600. Right, we're gonna have to go ahead and bite the bullet there. I think that we need to go ahead and just try and not be too dependent on one certain, which is right now population anyway. We need to go ahead and definitely diversify. Right, so now we've got a little bit more money, we can actually go ahead and start to go ahead and make this modification. So, first of all, going ahead and deleting the elevators, that doesn't cost too much money at all. Then I go ahead and delete that basement part. The problem is building elevators. Elevators are not cheap to go ahead and construct, so if we add you in there, then it's $300 per piece, so that's going to spend my whole budget for the day. Now the good thing is we are up to a profit of $1,000 per day, which is great to see, and that is something which I want to be at consistently. Reason for that is because we've only got 2 empty offices right now, and everyone in general seems relatively happy. Then when we go ahead and add in more of these apartments, then we can go ahead and make ourselves even more money, and again it's going to be in a different area, it's not just going to be on offices. If we jump in here to our financial breakdown right now, you can see that we are rent on offices, that's where the bulk of our income comes in from, but we are spending so much on utilities that I think we can go ahead and definitely start to make a large amount of money from apartments, because I don't think apartments utilities wise, like just with studios, I believe it only requires electricity and water, so on that front I think we should be fine. So what we're going to do now is we're going to go ahead and start to build some studio apartments. So we're going to go ahead and stick 2 of you guys in there. Then what we're going to do is we're going to go ahead, and how much does one of these cost? $11. It's not that bad, to be fair. So we're going to go ahead and fill this basement area out. The reason for this is because this is where all the recycling stuff is going to go. So if we jump in here to trash, then every single floor which has either studios, apartments, or some living kind of complex, it needs some form of trash and recycling facilities, I believe. So if we go ahead and put in a bin for each floor, which we'll do there, that costs $50. Then we need to do a recycling room on each floor, which costs $50. Then I'm also going to have a... And the problem is here is that I've gone ahead and sort of mucked up my building. So the water column is all the way over here to the far left, and I need it at the far right. And electricity is not a bad thing because everything needs electricity, but only apartments and shops which sell foods, not even all of them. I believe you don't even need water. I think you just need electricity. I think it's this one here that needs water, so yeah. We don't really, it'd be a bit of a waste going ahead and dragging water pipes right the way along here, wouldn't it? So what we're going to do instead is we're going to go ahead and add in another water column over here. That is what my plan is. So we can now go ahead and start to add in these plumbing closets. So we'll go ahead and do that there. Then I want to go ahead and grab some water pipes and do it right along there. And then we'll probably go ahead and do the same on the floor above. Again, the reason is right now I'm leaving the bottom 3 floors blank. The bottom 2 are the ground and the first are there for a reason. And I want to go ahead and add in a communal area eventually in the second floor, so we're only going to be building higher than this. So with that done, we've got all the facilities we require now for a basic studio apartment. So as we can see here, there is a difference between the deluxe, but the deluxe requires gas, and that is something which I've not really tapped into yet, and is something which I am going to avoid for the time being. Plus, they also require, or they don't require, but prefers upper floors, and right now we're only on like floor 3, I think, so we're really not that high at all. So what I'm going to do is I'm going to get you guys moved into there, and that is going to bring us in some extra money. Now right now we're down to only $700 per day, but with that we should hopefully go ahead and start to see the tides turn back up to maybe 1,000 again. So I've gone ahead and let the game run for 2 days now, so we can go ahead and do some more building. So the first thing I would like to say is that it's interesting, these apartments. So the first thing is this game's 2D, which is a great concept, and 2D games are definitely becoming a lot more popular, I would say, in recent times. Games like Prison Architecture, this, Sim Airports, another brick in the mall. There's lots of games which I think 2D and management goes really well together, and I can see a major future in that. I think that's what I'm going to go ahead and focus my studies on quite a bit actually in the near future, as I do games development, a lot of you know, so that is an area which I want to go ahead and work towards. I've got an idea of my, for a few of my own games, and a lot of these games which have been created recently, maybe take out Prison Architect from that, but another brick in the mall, and Sim Airports. Not really at all sure about this game actually. Those games are made by just a few guys, independent companies, which are just being startups, and they've been great successes, and I could see other games, other management games, maybe on something different like a hospital, or, you know, something a little bit different which could be a great success. It's that kind of game which people love, especially in and around this community. Right, anyway, so I want to go ahead and turn our attention back to media, because we looked at the office ones, which wasn't bad at all. However, I want to go ahead and look at apartment ones, because I think this could go ahead and help us out, really go ahead and just try and, you know, I mean, I want to save money, that's really the bottom line. So the one I'm really looking at here is Renter Roundup. So apartment construction costs 50% less, which is quite good. Apartments will be rented much faster. Increase the number of potential tenants with your campaign. So that one's a pretty good one, so we're going to go ahead and grab that. Now I realise that only lasts 24 hours. So what we're going to do is we're going to slow things down, and we're going to do quite a bit of building. Interestingly, we've got 11 days left on that, so still quite a bit to go. So what we're going to do is we're going to expand upwards a little bit. Then what we're going to go ahead and do is basically just duplicate a lot of this infrastructure here. So let's go ahead and add in a plumbing closet up to there. Then let's jump back into here, jump into trash. Then let's go ahead and add in bin there, then recycling room there and there. Now I've missed something. missed something quite big here actually. So we need collection rooms for both of these, and that's why I did this basement area. So that's basically where all the, think of it as like a trash chute in a sense. Somebody, I'm not really at all sure who it will be, if it's going to be the cleaners or if it's going to be the maintenance team, whatever. These individual bins and individual recycling areas on each floor, they go ahead and they fill up. So as we can see, the trash amount here is at 27%. That will eventually be emptied and that'll be brought down here, and as we see again, that is, it's got a daily limit, so that's at 0% right now. And then that'll get collected every single day. So it's really moving from a smaller bin to a larger bin, which then gets emptied by some form of, I'm guessing, removal truck or something. I'm not really at all sure how this game works on that front. But we're going to go ahead and speed things up, and we're going to get some more apartments in here. So again, it's going to be studios, just because we're working towards the studio, whatever it is, this city contract right now, that's it. So we are basically after that $1,000, that's really what I want. And we have the facilities already to just go ahead and support the extra studios, so we might as well go ahead and implement them. So as we can see here, we're up to $140 per day for a basic studio, which is good. So go ahead and get people moving in there. The real question is, do we have the facilities? And right now we don't have electricity, so we'll go ahead and extend you, and then water, we already have you. What I'm also going to do is go ahead and add in water along the top there, and add in some more electricity along there as well. So basically I want to go ahead and add in another 2 apartments right now, while we can still afford it. So we go ahead and place you in there, and then it's going to cost me only $50 yet to go ahead and stick you in there. So let's go ahead and get that done. And then what I want to do is go ahead and add in another one at this top corner here very shortly. So there we go, that is the 6th apartment added in now, which is good, and someone will be moving into there very shortly. So again, that's going to go ahead and increase our daily cash flow. As we can see right now, we're a little bit all over the place, to be honest. Again, it's just we don't have a lot of money. I'm really waiting for this bank loan to be paid off, and then I'm going to try and avoid taking out bank loans again, because I can't really see the need for any more massive expansion. What I want to do towards the end of this episode is just continue up. I want to go ahead and add in 2 more floors. I want to add in 4 more studios basically to go ahead and allow me to go ahead and go ahead. If I was to stop saying the same thing over and over again, that would be great, wouldn't it? I want to try and complete studio apartments and get my hands on that $1,000, possibly to help pay off the loan. I think that would be quite good. So what I'm going to do here is we're going to go ahead and start with that. So this is floor 6 and floor 7 now we're on to. So let me go ahead and do that, and let me grab elevators and stick you in there and you in there. Unfortunately, we can't afford that, and this is going to be a few day job, just because of the fact that... Oh no, that is something which I totally forgot to do. Who moved out? It was someone there, which that's actually okay, because I'm going to be freeing up that gap anyway. I need to go ahead and do some maintenance quite badly here, because there's a lot of grime, and that's something which I wish you could do it automatically, because of the real, I mean, it's an issue. I need to go ahead and keep coming back here and checking, oh, how are we doing on this front, how are we doing on that front, and it's a little frustrating. Right now I need to spend $810, which is essentially all of tomorrow's budget on just renovating offices, and that is, evidently, if we jump into here, satisfaction's actually surprisingly okay. I'm not gonna lie, it's actually quite good. I'm really surprised. I thought I'd see a lot more red. There's red here, but I think it's because you are... I'm not really at all sure why. It doesn't really say. Employees seem unhappy here. I think it's maybe the location. You're maybe too low down in the building. That's my guess, because it seems to be getting greener the higher you go up. That's really the bottom line. So let me go ahead and close back out of this. We now have some more money. Again, we're just about on the cusp of $1,000 per day, which is good. So you'll go ahead and finish that off. Unfortunately, I need a little bit more money to go ahead and actually be able to do what I want, but we're going to go ahead and renovate some more offices, just again to go ahead, and I don't really want people moving out. I don't mind if they move out of this first floor here, as I said, but outside of that, no one really should have to move out. So something that I haven't checked in a while is that interest in offices. So we do have quite a bit of interest, which is good. So let me first of all go ahead and double check which one is the phone line and which one isn't the phone line level. So you're the phone line level, so we'll go ahead and grab ourselves a legal office which requires a phone line. So $180 a day, that's quite a good profit there. And then let's go ahead and take another office, which... What's the problem? I don't have $100, I have $10, LOL. So that's me managed to go ahead and fill out this office, which is good. And as we can see, we're up to $1,200 per day, which is nice. So the final building we're going to do this episode is we're going to go ahead and fill in this top corner. Then in the next episode, we're going to do some more office expansion, because I think we're starting to get to the stage of a much more consistent profit now. Plus the loan is just about paid off, 7 days left, and what I'll do between this and the next episode is I'll let the game run a little bit so we won't have to go ahead and deal with any of this waiting, because this episode has been a lot of pause, if you've not already gathered by the... It's been very choppy, which is something I don't like. I like flow, and if you look at... I was watching Dylan's video on Sim Airport the other day. I think he talked for 40 minutes non-stop, which is something which, in any game I play, I am never like that. Even Transport Fever. Transport Fever is usually maybe a 10-minute clip at the longest, but it's rarely anything more than that. So that is something which I need to go ahead and definitely, I think, just improve upon, because that's something which recently, if I'm totally honest, the channel has, or this past week anyway, it's not done as well as I once hoped. And I just realised something. I need to go ahead and do quite a lot of expansion here actually. So let's go ahead and expand right along to there, and then right along to there. It's because I need electricity columns. I don't have that on this floor yet, which is a bit frustrating. But anyway, what I was saying was that the channel has, some of the views on some of the series have just gone down, and I don't know why that is. If that's due to possible just not changing things up, or going ahead and sub boxes are maybe broken, or I'm not really at all sure why. But it's difficult when you don't know why. If I knew why, then I'd obviously go ahead and take corrective action, but now some people have been indicating that this series isn't the most enjoyable series. This is the second series, and it's never going to be doing absolutely amazing. It's more Transport Fever, that's the thing that concerns me, because that's my rock right now. So that is something which has always been producing me, and it's really been the reason why my channel's grown the way it's grown over the past 2 or so months. Since about January we've done pretty amazing, but I'm not really at all sure why. We're just, if anything, we're going backwards, which is something which I do not like at all. Anyway, let's do this final building here. So, interestingly, we got these, which are you 2-bedroom apartments, small 2-bedroom apartments. Yeah, you are. So, we're not obviously going to build them right now, because I'm trying to complete this studio apartments city contract here, which we've now pretty much done. So, we can also charge $150 per day. That's pretty good. That's up an extra $10, so again, that's going to make the difference. So I'm just hoping on the waterfront we're okay. So utilization's at 90% now, but that's going to be higher because of the fact that that can't be right. That needs to update, because we've got 10 offices or 10 apartments. Yeah, here we go. So yeah, you do not have enough water. So let me go ahead and very quickly pause, jump in here to utilities. Then let's grab ourselves some water. Let's just go ahead and grab ourselves a small water closet for the time being, because there's no need for a larger one. And then that should solve that issue. And there we go. Also, one thing to note is that yes, we have completed that. We're also at 4-star prestige, which is nice to see. So again, we're making some more consistent money, and that is also good. We've managed to get ourselves an extra $1,000 from that, and we're now down to 6 days left. So really not long at all until we get that paid off. Anyway, ladies and gentlemen, what I'm going to do is I'm going to wrap this video up here, so please go ahead and tell me what you're liking and not liking about this series. There'll be an extra video tomorrow which is going to be going ahead and basically recapping and talking about the channel and the past month and the next month, what's going to be happening going forward, which should be quite good. And aside from that, ladies and gentlemen, that is it. So please leave a like rating, go ahead and hit that like button right now. That really helps me out. And then, yeah, that's all. So thank you very much for watching. My name is ConflctNerd Callum, and I'm out.